Villagers in Animal Crossing games will make small contributions to projects that need funding. You're likely familiar with this concept from Animal Crossing New Horizons, where villagers will contribute bells towards bridges and inclines. This mechanic was introduced before that, though, in Animal Crossing New Leaf, where public works projects could not only be bridges and inclines, but a police station, cafe, reset center, town hall renovations, train station renovations, and all that stuff that wasn't added to New Horizons. Anyway, just like we did in New Horizons almost 4 years ago, we're gonna see how long it takes for villagers to pay off a bridge in Animal Crossing New Leaf. Considering most people probably just fund these projects entirely by themselves, you might not be familiar with the rate with which villagers will donate. But as you can imagine, it's not very much. So this will involve a lot of time traveling, a lot of loading screens, and a lot of great, ready-to-eat meals delivered directly to your door. Wait, what? Factor provides delicious, ready-to-eat meals that are as easy as... Every meal is chef-crafted, dietitian-approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Every week's menu has 35 options such as vegetarian tamale bowl, ground pork chili and poblanos, 3-bean vegan chili, and more. Whether you're looking for calorie smart, keto, protein plus, or vegan and veggie, they've got options for you. Tack on some on-the-go lunch, snacks, and beverages like this watermelon lime refresher. If you're like me and you're in and out a lot, Factor accommodates you by allowing you to change your order every week with plans from 4 to 18 meals per week, and you can pause and reschedule deliveries at any time. It helps cut down on food waste and grocery store trips, allowing me more time for my favorite outdoor activities. Aww. If you've previously enjoyed my HelloFresh recommendation, then you'll be happy to know that Factor is now owned by HelloFresh, so I'm glad to be able to offer everyone a discount on both of these great brands. Head to Factor75.com or use the link below and use code DAGNAL50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's code DAGNAL50 at Factor75.com to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month of orders. I'm doing this challenge on the same save file that I completed the museum on. The reason being is that it's easier, and by having passively talked to my villagers along the way, I've built a friendship level with them. But why is that important? Villager contributions to public works projects are based on your friendship level with them. The better friends you are with them, the more that they'll cough up. That, plus the amount of villagers that are in your town, are the two factors that determine your daily donations. But before we worry about any of that, we need to commission the bridge to be built. One thing I didn't do in the full museum speedrun was achieve a 100% approval rating with my villagers, a requirement that needs to be met before you can perform most of your mayoral duties. It's a tutorial of sorts that the game gives you that teaches you about the various things that you should do every day in your town. Now you might think that building a world-class museum, as I've done, would put me at a pretty high approval rating, but unfortunately not. Shit, but we're gonna do it. 23%?! Dude, I completed the entire ass museum. I literally invented science in this fucking town, and I got 23%? That's fucking stupid. There's lots of ways to get your approval rating up, however. Plucking all the weeds that were left behind from all my time traveling got me up to 51%, and then writing on the board, planting some flowers, changing the town tune and town flag, and writing letters got us the rest of the way. Okay. It had the added effect of getting our friendship level up with our villagers too, so I'm hoping that their contributions will reflect that. There's 6 bridges in New Leaf, ranging from the cheapest at 128,000 bells to the most expensive at 298,000 bells, meaning the answer to how long this will take depends first on how much the bridge you choose costs. I'd be willing to do this with the more expensive bridges, but unfortunately there's no good way to get your villagers to suggest them to Isabelle without potentially many hours of trying. So, here we are, a brand new bridge that I will contribute absolutely nothing to, unless necessary, but we'll get to that later. Now, the process is simple. Time travel a bunch of days at a time until it's paid off, right? Ha! I wish. As nice as it would be to time travel a month forward and see how much my villagers have paid off in that time, they only donate per day that you actually play. So, if you time travel from today to next month, that's only 1 day played, and 1 contribution. Meaning we need to time travel 1 day at a time for as many days as this will take. Our total after the first day is 417 bells. And as much as I want to say, okay, 128,000 bells divided by 417 bells per day rounds up to 307 days, thanks for watching, goodbye. It's not that simple. That 417 bells is not a static number. It will go up as I talk to my villagers more, and it will go down as villagers move out. For example, before leaving that day, I talked to Sparrow, and just by doing that, the next day's total amount was 836 bells, meaning it went up 419 bells that day, which would knock an entire day off of my estimate from before, assuming that rate stayed the same. So with every day that I time travel, I make time to speak to any villagers that happen to be nearby, making extra sure I do favors for them too if they ask. But just as donations can go up, they can very easily go down too. If a villager wants to move out, that will put me at one less villager to contribute, so I have to make sure I do my best to keep every villager I can from moving out. This is tricky though, because unlike New Horizons, villagers don't need your permission to leave town in this game. So if I'm not diligently checking every day, I'll see my daily contribution drop, which is exactly what happens on day 12, where I saw my daily contribution fall to 385 bells after Wart Jr. moved out. Which doubly sucks, because not only was he a source of revenue every day, he was also in my town from the very start, meaning I had a good friendship level with him. So when he was replaced by Muffy, my daily contribution only went back up to 411, which begs the question of whether or not it's worth it to maintain high friendships with villagers when they're just gonna leave anyway. What I decided on doing was only talking to villagers if necessary to keep them from moving out, and if they did move out, talking to the villager that replaced them, because villagers won't contribute until you've introduced yourself, as I learned. And to most effectively time travel, I skipped to 5:59 a.m. of the following day to load in, wait 1 minute to 6 a.m. where the day rolls over, thus effectively simulating 2 days in one time skip, and repeating that until this bridge is finished. My daily contributions will drop significantly, but if it means wasting less time speaking to all my villagers, I think that'll be worth it. It's day 72 now, and we're on 25,662 bells contributed, putting us at just over 20% completion. Our daily contributions have dropped to 339 bells a day by merely maintaining the maximum amount of villagers as I can. By this point, lots of villagers have moved out, and the extent of a relationship with the ones who have moved in has been as meager as me introducing myself and nothing more. Being that I do my time traveling so early in the morning, I rarely ever see villagers out and about to chat with. If I do, I'll talk to them once to gain a bell or two of contribution, but nothing more. And the town's fallen into a state of decay again, but on the bright side, gonna have a pretty sweet bridge here in about another 5 years. It's now the 31st of October, or day 79, and I thought it was funny that we have 28,000 bells donated, meaning there's exactly 100,000 bells to go. December 13th, or day 122, we're at 42,320 bells donated and 85,680 bells remaining. That marks about 1/3 complete. It's now winter, and at the rate that we're going, it will likely be next summer by the time that this gets completed. Day 187, and we are officially halfway complete. 64,001 bells donated, 63,999 bells remaining. Day 294, and we have hit 6 figures. 100,066 bells donated, leaving us with 27,934 bells remaining. We're in the final stretch, buddy. Stay with me here. Day 365, and yes, that's right, this bridge is celebrating its first birthday of donations, meaning this bridge has a gestation period similar to your average donkey. We're at 123,788 bells donated, so only 4,212 to go. Remember when I said that I'll contribute nothing to this bridge unless necessary? Well, here's what I mean by that. I learned that in New Horizons, villagers will not make the final contribution to the bridge, you have to do that yourself. So we're going to see here pretty soon whether that's the case for New Leaf as well. It's August 25th, day 378, and we're at 127,768 bells donated. Let's find out whether the villagers will finish the job, or if they let us do the honors. It's August 26th, day 379, and just like New Horizons, it looks like the final contribution must be done by the player. Kind of sad, since it means that your villagers can never truly pay off the bridge in its entirety, but in the spirit of the challenge, we can basically say that they did just that. And here it is. It was nice to kick back and do nothing while freeloading off of my villagers. And by do nothing, I mean spend real-life days mindlessly time traveling to answer a question that nobody asked. Such is the life of a video game challenge YouTuber.